Hey everyone! So today we're diving into something that blends science with storytelling, the science feature. So it is a category, a writing category in most campus press conferences, and I was a science and technology writer for 5 years, and today I will be sharing my expertise into this topic. I won the congressional PressCon in our congressional district twice, and also our division, and also I reached the RSPC. So let's get going. So we will be talking about how to write a science feature, not only a science and technology article, but specifically a science feature. So basically, in every PressCon, the most recommended, the recommended category to be written is science feature. I mean, there's several categories or several ways you could write your SciTech article. It could be news, it could be editorial, but the most common or the most used by our journalist, or let's say in our region, every region has a different style, but we use a science feature. So it's not your usual report full of data and terms. Instead, it is an article that feels like a story but teaches like science. It moves readers emotionally while also making them understand the facts behind the topic. So, one example today I will be showing you is titled The Story in Every Drop. This is something that I made probably a year ago or a few months or so. So, we'll read it one part at a time, talk about what makes each section work, and by the end, you'll know exactly how to write your own science feature for your PressCon or maybe for fun or your school paper. So, first, let's start with the hook sentence. This is the first one. One drop of blood can tell an untold story. So, this is the hook. Short, poetic, and powerful. It grabs attention without explaining anything yet. In fewer than 10 words or so, it builds mystery. This is a one sentence, one paragraph format, or you could add two sentences, but not a full on paragraph. This is just to hook the readers, to hook the judges in press conferences, competitions. So it asks the audience or the readers or the judges, what do you imagine when you read that line? So the goal here is curiosity. Curiosity. A hook should make people stop scrolling or flipping the page, or make the judges just discard your article. Make them catch the attention. So next, we have the feature introduction. So it's similar to what a feature writer would write in his or her article. So let's read this. Under the soft light of a hospital hallway, a young man sits in silence, his fingers trembling against the edge of a test result. The world outside hums with life, yet inside him, time slows to a crawl. His reflection in the glass door blurs with the tears he fights to hold back. Around him, the world remains unchanged, but within, everything shifts. An invisible storm of fear, guilt, and the unknown brews quietly. This sounds more like the start of a short story than a typical science and technology article. And in my writing style, that is intentional. The feature introduction, yes, because it is a science feature, but more of it, it is meant to pull the readers in emotionally. Using these words like his fingers trembling, hums with life, time slows to a crawl, reflection in the glass door, it shows, not tell. It tells or it shows vivid description, just emotions. Like, how does that make you feel? Like, you have to picture a scene to the reader's mind. That's the purpose of the introduction. You have to paint a clear picture to the reader before we even discuss the science topic itself. We have to put a vivid and clear image onto the reader's mind. So next, we proceed to the transition. So in the transition paragraph, you turn towards science. It is your transition between your story and the the science topic itself. So let's read it. What hides behind that sheet of paper is not merely a diagnosis, but a battle of science and survival. The story of this young man mirrors the struggle of millions whose lives intertwine with one of the most studied and misunderstood viruses known to humanity. So again, I would like to add that in a feature article or in a science feature, you could feature a person like this young man, or it could be a place or an event. You have to feature something, your subject, so that it will guide you throughout your story. You have something to tell, something to show, and the subject, or in this case, the young man, serves as the centerpiece of the story. It guides you towards the story and eventually to the science topic. So, in this transition paragraph, it connects the personal story again to the wider scientific issue. Because if we directed or if we jumped straight to the science topic from the feature, it would feel disconnected. But with this transition, it keeps the flow natural and it keeps the flow smooth. So, next, let's move on to the scientific introduction. So, this is the heart and the most important part of your science feature. You must always include this because without the facts and without the scientific concepts, it's not a science feature anymore. It is more of a feature article for itself. So, HIV or human immunodeficiency virus attacks the body's immune system, particularly the CD4 cells that help fight infections. When left untreated, it progresses to acquired immunodeficiency syndrome or AIDS, a condition where the immune system becomes so weak that it can no longer defend the body from diseases. Unlike other viruses, HIV integrates into the body's genetic material, making complete removal nearly impossible. However, medical science has developed treatments that control its spread and allow people to live long, healthy lives. So, this section officially begins the scientific explanation. So, notice that it defines the topic clearly, but it avoids heavy jargon. Because, as a science and technology journalist or writer, you must remember that the general or the audience of this article mostly is the general public, so you have to make it easier for them to understand what you're trying to say, because if you load the article with too much of jargons, then they won't understand, they would be bored, and they would be uninterested in your article. So that's why you have to avoid the jargons, and it is also a crucial part of winning. If you want to win your PressCon, keep jargons on bay.